What's up guys, Nan here from A Cent a Second, and today we will be talking about derivatives. It's a quick tip, how to solve them, what do you do when you get one, and what do they actually mean. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, so let's get into an example. Let's say you get a formula like y equals x squared. So how do we approach this question? How do we find a derivative of this function, and what does the derivative mean? So let's start off with the graph. So the graph of this equation is y equals x squared. So if you don't know how a graph looks from how it's written, you can just write out a table. So let's do an xy table, and let's say we can start from a negative number, so -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. That's usually how I like to start these questions if I don't know how a graph looks. Then what you do is plug in the x into the formula. So -2 squared is 4. So any negative number you square, you get a positive number. -1 squared is 1. 0, 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. Then you just plot these numbers. So a quick sketch of this would be 1, 2, 1. So -1, -2, 1, and 2. Where the maximum of this graph is at, in our table, is 4. And what we would do is just graph, and it would be a parabola. So once we have this graph, or we call it a parabola in this case, we can solve for the derivative. So to get really basic with this, a derivative is a slope at any point in the graph. So if I want to find the derivative here, how do we do that? So how we've been learning about slopes is we have a slope between 2 points. So if we have a slope between 2 and 1, it would be the change in y or the change in x. And in this case, how do we find a derivative, which is a slope at 1 point of 1 point? Get what I mean? So we only have 1 point here. So there's a rule in derivatives called the power rule, and what it means is if we take a derivative, so to take a derivative, it's d of dx, so this just tells you what we're differentiating in respect to, so we're taking all the x terms into account of x squared. In general, the power rule says the derivative of anything is just the power it has, and we subtract 1 from that power. So it'd be, we put whatever is in front and then -1 from it. So in this case, the derivative of x squared would be the 2 in the front, x, and then 2 minus 1, which becomes 2 to the x to the first, which is just 2x. So in this case, the derivative is 2x. What does that mean? So that means we can use this number to find the slope at any number in this graph. So the slope at 1 would be 2 times 1, which is 2. So the slope here, we make a line tangent to that point. That means the slope here is 2. And you can do that literally at any point you want. You can do it at negative numbers. So let's try a negative. So at -2, the slope would be -4. And it would be like that. So that's the beauty of a derivative. It tells you the slope at any point in a graph. It's the instantaneous rate at a point. Hope that helped. All my link is in the description if you ever need any help. And my rates are a cent a second, and feel free to hit me up. Peace.